Is the Samsung Galaxy A12 worth buying in 2021? Well, in this video, we're gonna find out. What's going on, guys? Cleepus Tech here, coming back at you with another video. In this video, we're gonna be taking a look at the Samsung Galaxy A12 and seeing what kind of value it provides in 2021. So let's get into it. So this phone has a 6.5-inch PLS IPS LCD display with a resolution of 720p, a PPI of 270, an aspect ratio of 20:9, and a screen to body ratio of 82.1%. We got a water drop notch here for the front facing camera, and this camera is 8 megapixels. Now, I'm not a huge fan of water drop notches. I do think they look a little bit outdated and make the phone look older and cheaper, but on this phone, it doesn't really look too bad. The bezels are not the thinnest out there, but somehow on this phone, instead of making it look bad, it gives it a kind of unique look that I actually like. The phone itself has a decently thin design that makes it really sleek and modern, definitely not too bulky, so it's really easy to hold in your hand and carry in your pocket without getting uncomfortable. The back here is made of a really interesting material that feels solid and has a really cool texture. I am a huge fan of this material, honestly. And another benefit is it barely picks up any fingerprints. Now, I do have the brightness at 100% right now, and despite being only 720p, this display looks really good. So if you're doing something like content consumption, streaming videos, reading, that sort of thing, this is gonna be real nice because not only is the display pretty decent quality, but the screen is also on the larger side, so you'll be able to see those little details better. This phone is getting 64 gigabytes of internal storage with microSD card expansion. Now keep in mind, this is the international variant. The US model only gets 32 gigabytes, but still 64 gigabytes is definitely a good amount. There are other phones out there with more, but not very many. As far as this price range is concerned, the only one I can think of off the top of my head that has more in this price range is maybe the blue G91 that has 128 gigabytes. But for the average user, 64 is gonna be plenty. In fact, for an average user, if you're not doing a whole lot with your phone, even 32 gigabytes that the US model gets is gonna be perfectly fine. In addition to that, the microSD expansion really does help too. Now, there's no wireless charging with this phone, but it does have a fingerprint scanner located right here on the power key, as well as face unlock, so that's really nice. This power key is located in probably the best spot. You're most likely gonna be touching this button on purpose or not in order to wake up the display. And with this phone, you can unlock the phone and wake up the display in one move, so that's really cool. Let's give it a try. There we go, real nice. One more time. And there we go. As you can see, not only is the fingerprint scanner conveniently placed, but it's also really fast and responsive, so good in every way. We got a quad camera setup here on the back with a 48 megapixel rear camera, a 5 megapixel ultra wide camera, a 2 megapixel macro camera, and a 2 megapixel depth sensing camera for portrait mode. This is a real good setup. It has pretty much every feature available, which is impressive for an entry-level phone like this. And you also get really high quality photos out of the rear camera. Whether you're a casual user of the camera, only snapping a few pictures here and there, or a more frequent user taking lots of pictures for stuff like social media, websites, all that, I think the camera of the Samsung Galaxy A12 is gonna fit your needs either way. Now for video, you can shoot videos in 1080p on this phone, but remember the display is only 720p, so you're gonna be viewing everything you shoot in 720p regardless of whether or not you shoot it in 1080p. That being said, you can view your 1080p videos you shoot on this phone in that resolution on another device. Internally, this phone is getting 4 gigabytes of RAM, with the MediaTek Helio P35 processor. Now keep in mind, there's another difference here between the international and US variants. The US variant only gets 3 gigabytes of RAM, whereas this variant, the international, gets 4. It's not really that big a deal like it is with the storage, but it is something to keep in mind. I ran a Geekbench 5 benchmark test on this phone and it came back with a single core score of 169 and a multi-core score of 965. So for an entry-level phone, it's really not bad, but in this exact price range, since it's getting to the upper end of entry-level phones, I will say you can do better. I've seen several devices with a lot more processing power than this. So if that's one of your main priorities, then you might want to look at other devices. That being said, I've had no performance issues with this phone, so if you're not too concerned about processing power, then it should be fine. The battery is another really strong point for this phone. With a 5000 milliamp hour battery that supports 15-watt fast charging, it's definitely impressive. You're gonna get a lot of life out of this phone, both per charge and down the road as far as longevity is concerned. As the battery wears out, you're not gonna notice it as fast as you would with a phone that has a smaller battery. So if you prefer to get one phone and keep it for a really long time, this is gonna be a good option for you. Now, in conclusion, is the Samsung Galaxy A12 worth buying in 2021? I would say it definitely is. This phone has some real nice features, and although the processing power isn't very impressive, this phone has plenty of other strengths that make up for it. So if you're looking for an entry-level phone that has some really nice features like a large high-quality display, a really good rear camera, an ultra-wide camera, and a macro camera, a fingerprint scanner mounted in one of the best spots possible that's also really fast and responsive, and an overall good build and design with some unique features as well, then the Samsung Galaxy A12 is going to be a really good option for you. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I hope you found this information useful as well. If you did, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe. And if you want to learn more about this phone, definitely watch the full review of it on the channel. If you happen to be watching this video after you bought the phone, take a look at the beginner's guide where I go over a bunch of tips and tricks that you're going to want to know about when you're setting the phone up for the first time. But that's it for today, guys. I will see you in the next video.